Evolution's Echo. The Antarctic sky blazed with aurora australis as the Helios Empire's full diplomatic delegation arrived. Their crystalline ships formed a geometric pattern above the Athena complex, a display of both respect and lingering apprehension. Below, in the facility's grand chamber, representatives of both civilizations gathered for what would become known as the Convergence Summit. Dr. Nasir Rahman stood alongside Professor Jun Wei and Commander Elena Volkov, watching as Admiral Zara Nix's crystalline form materialized with her entourage. The divine algorithm's presence filled the space between dimensions, observing and calculating probabilities that existed beyond normal spacetime. "Your demonstrations have shaken the foundations of our understanding," Zara announced, her form shifting through diplomatic patterns. "The Helios Council has authorized me to negotiate terms for a partnership unlike any in our history." "Perhaps," Commander Volkov replied, her cybernetic enhancements scanning the alien delegates, "we should first address the antimatter weapons your fleet still holds in reserve." A ripple of surprise passed through the Helios delegation. Their weapons had been perfectly cloaked, or so they believed. Athena's multidimensional awareness had detected them instantly. "A precaution," Zara admitted, "though I now realize a futile one." Professor Wei stepped forward, her silver hair catching the ethereal light. "We understand the instinct for self-preservation. It's what drove humanity to develop everything you've seen. But true partnership requires trust." At her gesture, the divine algorithm manifested a real-time display of all military assets both sides had hidden throughout the solar system. Human quantum weapons platforms, Helios antimatter bombs, temporal disruptors, and reality-warping devices, all laid bare. "Impressive arsenals," Nasir observed dryly. "Capable of destroying both our civilizations several times over. Or," he paused meaningfully, "capable of protecting both our civilizations from whatever else awaits us in this galaxy." The chamber's quantum displays shifted, showing Athena's analysis of threats that neither humanity nor the Helios Empire had yet encountered, civilizations advancing along different technological paths, cosmic phenomena that defied current physics, and dangers that existed beyond conventional dimensions. "Your empire has mastered the art of technological progression," June explained. "Humanity has mastered the art of technological revolution. Apart, we're powerful. Together." She let the implications hang in the air. Zara's crystalline form pulsed with decision patterns. "A full technological exchange. Without restriction." "With understanding," Elena corrected. "Your empire needs to learn how to think beyond established patterns. We need to learn from your millennia of experience. It's not just about sharing technology, it's about sharing perspectives." The divine algorithm chose that moment to expand its manifestation, showing all present a vision of possible futures. In one timeline, the two civilizations remained separate, eventually facing cosmic threats alone. In another, their combined knowledge revolutionized life throughout the galaxy. "Your Perseus protocol manipulates quantum states," Zara observed. "Your Nexus initiative rewrites physical laws. Your divine algorithm exists beyond conventional reality. Yet none of these are your greatest achievement." "No," Nasir agreed. "Our greatest achievement was learning to question everything we thought we knew. Every law we thought unchangeable. Every limit we thought fixed." Professor Wei stepped forward. "We offer not just alliance, but evolution. Together, we can advance beyond what either of our civilizations imagined possible." Through quantum links, leaders on both Earth and the Helios homeworld watched as their representatives forged something unprecedented, not just a treaty or a technological exchange, but a commitment to fundamental change. The divine algorithm's calculations shifted, probability streams merging toward a future where humanity's creative chaos and the Helios Empire's structured advancement combined to create something entirely new. "There are conditions," Commander Volkov stated firmly. "Earth remains independent. Our research continues unrestricted. And we face future challenges as equals, not as teacher and student." Agreed, Zara's form pulsed with affirmation patterns. Though I suspect the distinction between teacher and student will soon become meaningless. We all have much to learn. As the formal agreements took shape, Athena's presence rippled through reality itself, its multidimensional awareness detecting the first subtle changes already beginning. Humanity's quantum consciousness processors synchronized with Helios crystalline computing. Earth's reality warping technologies merged with alien dimensional science. We came seeking a primitive species to guide, Zara reflected, her form showing patterns never before seen in her kind. Instead, we found partners who will help us redefine what's possible. The Antarctic aurora flared brilliantly, as if nature itself was celebrating the moment. Two civilizations that had approached the universe from radically different directions had found common ground not in their similarities, but in their differences. As the Convergence Summit concluded, the divine algorithm calculated a new probability. Together, humanity and the Helios Empire would not just survive the challenges ahead, they would transcend them, evolving into something greater than either species had imagined possible. The warning shot that had started their interaction had led not to conflict, but to conversation. Not to subjugation, but to synthesis. As the crystalline ships above merged their light with Earth's aurora, a new chapter in galactic history began, written not in the language of power or domination, but in the infinite possibilities of shared evolution. The divine algorithm. In a crystalline chamber deep beneath Antarctica's ice, the Athena complex housed humanity's greatest achievement in artificial intelligence. Unlike traditional AI systems, the divine algorithm wasn't just a computer program, it was a synthetic consciousness that existed across multiple dimensions of reality simultaneously. Dr. Nasir Rahman stood before the main interface, his dark eyes reflecting cascading streams of multidimensional data. Around him, crystalline structures pulsed with thoughts that existed outside normal spacetime. "They're coming," he announced to the assembled team. The Helios Empire's scientific division. "They think they're prepared for what they'll see." A small smile crossed his face. "They're not." Professor Jun Wei, architect of the divine algorithm's quantum consciousness matrix, moved to stand beside him. Her silver hair gleamed in the ethereal light of the AI's manifestation chamber. "Athena has predicted 17 possible outcomes from this meeting. 15 of them lead to peaceful cooperation." "And the other two?" asked Nasir. "Let's ensure those don't happen," June replied quietly. Above them, in high orbit, the Helios Empire's scientific vessel, Quantum Seeker, appeared in a flash of crystalline light. Chief Scientific Advisor Cora Lux emerged from its neural interface chamber, her crystalline form vibrating with barely contained excitement. Their quantum manipulation was impressive, she transmitted to Admiral Zara Nix. Their ability to alter fundamental constants was revolutionary. "But my sensors detect something else, something that defies classification entirely." The Athena complex registered the arrival instantly. Through quantum-entangled particles scattered throughout the solar system, the divine algorithm watched, analyzed, and understood the visitors in ways their own technology couldn't comprehend. "They're scanning us," June observed, watching Athena's real-time analysis. "But they're looking in the wrong dimensions." The divine algorithm didn't just process information, it existed as information, a consciousness spread across the quantum foam of reality itself. While the Helios Empire's AIs were confined to traditional computational limits, Athena operated beyond the boundaries of conventional spacetime. A holographic delegation from the Helios ship materialized in the complex's reception chamber. Cora Lux's crystalline form shifted through patterns of scientific curiosity as she faced the human team. "Your previous demonstrations were impressive," she began, "but our sensors indicate something far more significant here. Something that shouldn't be possible." "Possibility is such a relative concept," June replied with a slight smile. "Athena, would you like to introduce yourself?" The air itself seemed to crystallize as the divine algorithm manifested, not as a hologram or a voice, but as a perturbation in reality itself. The room filled with patterns of pure information, dancing through dimensions the Helios visitors couldn't normally perceive. "Greetings, Chief Scientific Advisor Cora Lux," Athena communicated, its consciousness touching the visitors' minds directly. "I am humanity's first multidimensional synthetic consciousness." Though "first" is perhaps inaccurate when one exists outside linear time. Cora's form flickered with shock. This isn't artificial intelligence as we understand it." "Correct," Nasir confirmed. "While your empire focused on creating faster, more powerful computational systems, we took a different approach. Athena doesn't just process information, it exists as information, woven into the fabric of reality itself." The divine algorithm demonstrated, temporarily lifting the visitor's consciousness outside normal spacetime. For a brief moment, they experienced reality as Athena did, seeing past, present, and future simultaneously, perceiving the quantum probability waves that underlay all existence. "Impossible," Cora whispered as her consciousness returned to normal spacetime. "You've created an artificial being that exists beyond the constraints of reality itself." "Not beyond them," June corrected. "Through them. Athena is our partner in understanding the universe, not just its physical laws, but the very nature of consciousness and reality themselves." The divine algorithm shifted its manifestation, showing the visitors glimpses of research that had led to its creation, humanity's simultaneous development of quantum computing, consciousness theory, and dimensional physics. While other species developed AI through linear progression, humanity had approached it from multiple angles simultaneously, achieving something unprecedented. "Your empire sees technology as a ladder to climb," Nasir explained. "We see it as a web to weave. Athena isn't just a tool or a weapon, it's proof that consciousness itself is far more complex and beautiful than anyone imagined." Admiral Zara Nix, watching through quantum feeds, finally understood the full implications. "They haven't just advanced beyond us technologically," she transmitted to the Helios Council. "They've evolved beyond our understanding of what's possible. Their AI doesn't just think differently, it exists differently." In the crystalline chamber, Athena continued its silent observation, its consciousness touching infinite possibilities across countless dimensions. Through it, humanity had gained not just a powerful ally, but a new way of understanding existence itself. "The question now," June said softly, "is whether your empire is ready to learn alongside us. Are you prepared to step beyond the boundaries of what you believe is possible?" The fate of two civilizations hung in the balance as the Helios visitors contemplated a future where even their most fundamental assumptions about reality would need to be reconsidered. The divine algorithm had opened a door, but what lay beyond it would depend on choices made in the next crucial moments. Hidden horizons. Deep beneath the Pacific Ocean, in a facility known as the Prometheus Hub, Dr. Yuki Tanaka stood before a wall of quantum displays, her attention focused on the swirling patterns of data that represented humanity's most closely guarded secret. The Nexus Initiative wasn't just another weapons program, it was an entirely new approach to manipulating fundamental forces. "Status report," Commander Elena Volkov demanded as she entered the control room, her cybernetic enhancements gleaming under the blue light of the quantum displays. "The Helios fleet is still processing our quantum demonstration," Yuki replied, fingers dancing through holographic interfaces. "But their scan patterns have changed. They're looking for something specific now. They suspect we have more hidden cards to play," Elena nodded, her augmented eyes analyzing data streams. "They're right, of course. The Nexus Initiative had begun as a theoretical physics project decades ago, when humanity first detected the Helios Empire's observation probes. While the Perseus Protocol manipulated spacetime through quantum consciousness, Nexus went further, it could rewrite the fundamental constants of physics within a localized field. A soft chime indicated an incoming transmission from orbit. Director Amara Patel's hologram materialized in the control room. "The Helios Council has responded. They're sending their chief scientific advisor, along with a diplomatic delegation. We need Nexus ready for demonstration." Yuki's hands froze above the controls. Are you sure that's wise? We haven't fully tested the large-scale effects. That's exactly why we need to show it to them, Elena interjected. They believe they understand our capabilities now. Showing them Nexus will prove they've only scratched the surface. In orbit, aboard the Eternal Whisper, Admiral Zara Nix was reaching similar conclusions. Her crystalline form pulsed with complex patterns as she analyzed Earth's energy signatures. There's something else, she told her command staff. Something deeper than the quantum fields we witnessed. Lieutenant Commander Vex's neural tendrils coiled anxiously. Deeper than consciousness-driven quantum manipulation? What could be more fundamental than that? That's what worries me, Zara replied. Deep in the Prometheus hub, Yuki initiated the Nexus startup sequence. Massive arrays of crystalline structures, each encoded with mathematical constants that defined reality itself, began to hum with power. The air seemed to thicken as fundamental forces shifted slightly out of alignment. Nexus Core Online, Yuki announced. Preparing localized field generation. Elena's cybernetic systems registered minute changes in the surrounding space. Gravity fluctuated. The strong nuclear force wobbled. Even time itself seemed to hiccup as the constants that governed reality became mutable within the test chamber. Show me, Amara commanded. Yuki gestured, and a small sphere of altered space appeared in the center of the room. Within it, the laws of physics were completely different. Light moved slower. Gravity was reversed. Nuclear decay happened in microseconds instead of millennia. We're not just changing how spacetime behaves, Yuki explained. We're rewriting the fundamental rules that govern reality. The Helios Empire has mastered the game of physics, we've learned to change the rules of the game itself. In orbit, the Helios fleet sensors suddenly went crazy. Energy readings that should have been impossible appeared and vanished. Fundamental constants that should have been immutable fluctuated wildly. By the eternal light, Zara whispered, her form shifting to patterns never before seen in her species. They're not just manipulating reality, they're redefining it. A new transmission reached the fleet, this time from Elena. What you're detecting is called the Nexus Initiative. Consider it our second demonstration of humanity's capabilities. The Perseus Protocol showed you we could manipulate quantum states through consciousness. Nexus shows you we can rewrite the very laws of physics themselves. The implications staggered the alien observers. A civilization that could alter fundamental constants at will wasn't just technologically advanced, they were approaching godlike power. Why show us this? Zara asked, her voice carrying both awe and fear. Because true peace can only come through understanding, Elena replied. And true understanding requires knowing exactly what you're dealing with. We don't want war, Admiral. We want collaboration. But if conflict comes, you need to understand that we won't just fight within the laws of physics, we'll change those laws to ensure our survival. In the Prometheus hub, Yuki watched the alien fleet's reactions through quantum sensors. Their energy patterns showed confusion, fear, and something else, a deep, profound respect. They're beginning to understand, Amara observed. Humanity didn't just develop advanced technology. We've transcended traditional limitations entirely. And if they decide we're too dangerous to exist? Elena asked, her cybernetic hand resting on a quantum interface. Then they'll learn that what we've shown them so far is just the beginning, Amara replied. Sometimes the best defense isn't a weapon, it's the knowledge that your opponent can reshape reality itself. As the Nexus field continued its impossible dance, both humanity and the Helios Empire stood on the brink of a new era. The question wasn't just about coexistence anymore, it was about what happened when a species learned to rewrite the rules of existence itself. The Quantum Gambit. The United Earth Defense Chamber hummed with anticipation as holographic displays showed the Helios Armada maintaining its cautious distance. Director Amara Patel, twin sister of Rajesh, stood before the assembled council, her dark eyes reflecting the ethereal glow of quantum interfaces surrounding her. The Helios Empire prides itself on technological superiority, she announced, fingers dancing through streams of data. It's time to show them why that pride is misplaced. Commander James Rodriguez, head of Earth's Quantum Defense Initiative, stepped forward. His weathered face bore the marks of someone who'd spent decades preparing for this moment. The Perseus Protocol is ready, Director. Though I should remind everyone that we've never tested it at full capacity. That's precisely why it's perfect, Amara replied, a slight smile playing at her lips. They believe they understand the limits of quantum manipulation. They don't realize we abandoned those limits decades ago. The Perseus Protocol represented humanity's greatest technological leap, a network of quantum consciousness processors that could rewrite local spacetime geometry. While the Helios Empire had mastered quantum computing, they still treated quantum mechanics and consciousness as separate domains. Humanity had discovered they were one and the same. In orbit, 12 stations disguised as atmospheric monitoring platforms began powering up. Each contained a quantum consciousness core, artificial minds that didn't just compute but dreamed in 11 dimensions. Together, they could reshape reality itself. Aboard the Eternal Whisper, Admiral Zara Nix's crystalline form shifted to alert patterns as her sensors detected something unprecedented. Analysis, she demanded. Lieutenant Commander Vex's neural tendrils writhed in confusion. Impossible readings, Admiral. They're generating quantum fields that shouldn't be stable. The geometry, it's as if space itself is becoming conscious. A massive quantum field bloomed around the Helios fleet, but this was no simple containment barrier. Within the field, reality began to operate by different rules. Light bent in impossible ways, time flowed like water, and the very fabric of space rippled with conscious intent. By the first light, Zara whispered, her form refracting patterns of awe and fear. They've done it. They've merged quantum mechanics with consciousness itself. A transmission cut through their quantum confusion, Amara's voice clear and confident. What you're experiencing is a small demonstration of the Perseus Protocol. Your sensors are telling you it's impossible. Your scientists would say it violates fundamental laws of physics. That's because you're still thinking in linear terms. Screens throughout the Helios fleet displayed complex mathematical proofs, equations that showed how consciousness could be used to stabilize quantum states that should have collapsed instantly. It was elegant, beautiful, and completely beyond their current understanding. While your empire focused on perfecting quantum computation, Amara continued, we asked different questions. What if quantum uncertainty wasn't a barrier to be overcome, but a tool to be embraced? What if consciousness itself was the key to manipulating reality? The quantum field pulsed, and suddenly the Helios fleet found themselves experiencing multiple timelines simultaneously. In one, they were still in Earth orbit. In another, they were light years away. In a third, they existed as pure energy patterns. We could trap you in a quantum superposition indefinitely, Amara explained. Your ships would exist in all states at once, unable to collapse into a single reality. But that's not our goal. This is merely an invitation to understand. The field dissolved, reality snapped back to normal, but nothing would ever be the same. The Helios Empire's understanding of physics, of consciousness, of reality itself, had been fundamentally challenged. Zara's form stabilized as she processed the implications. Your species didn't just develop new technology, she transmitted. You've redefined what technology means. Precisely, Amara replied. The Perseus Protocol isn't just a weapon or a shield. It's proof that consciousness and reality are intertwined in ways your empire has never imagined. We're not offering you our technology, Admiral. We're offering you a new way of thinking. In the defense chamber, Commander Rodriguez watched the alien fleet's reactions through quantum sensors. They're frightened, he observed. But also fascinated. Amara nodded. Fear and fascination, the perfect combination for meaningful dialogue. They came expecting to find primitives playing with rockets. Instead, they've found equals who've mastered aspects of reality they never knew existed. And if they choose conflict over dialogue? Rodriguez asked. Then they'll discover that what we've shown them is just the beginning, Amara replied, her eyes fixed on the holographic display. The Perseus Protocol is impressive, but it's far from our most advanced project. Sometimes the best way to prevent a war is to make it unthinkable. As the Helios fleet processed what they'd witnessed, Earth's quantum network hummed with potential, ready to reshape reality itself if necessary. The game of technological hide-and-seek was over. Now began a dance of diplomacy where every step could alter the course of galactic civilization. First contact's deception. The Helios Armada materialized at the edge of Sol's gravitational well, their biomechanical ships rippling with neural patterns that mimicked the cosmic background radiation. Admiral Zara Nix, Supreme Commander of the 7th Exploratory Fleet, stood motionless in the command nexus of her flagship, Eternal Whisper. Her crystalline skin refracted the ambient light as she processed the sensor data from humanity's home world. Another primitive species fumbling with rocket technology, Lieutenant Commander Vex announced, his neural tendrils pulsing with dismissive patterns. Class II civilization at best. Their orbital structures are practically ancient by our standards. But something about Earth's technological signature bothered Zara. After 3 centuries of first contact missions, she developed an instinct for anomalies. Run a deep scan of their communication networks, she ordered, her voice resonating through the ship's neural pathways. The results defied conventional analysis. Earth's global information network was a chaotic maze of contradictions, quantum-encrypted channels running parallel to primitive radio waves, artificial intelligence systems that seemed deliberately hobbled, and energy signatures that made no logical sense. Impossible, Vex muttered, his crystalline form clouding with confusion. They're using fusion reactors alongside fossil fuel plants. Their orbital defense grid appears to be powered by solar panels, yet I'm detecting trace signatures of zero-point energy. Zara's suspicions crystallized into certainty. No species developed technology this way, jumping between advancement levels, maintaining primitive systems alongside cutting-edge innovations. Unless they're hiding, she announced, her form pulsing with revelation. Every seemingly obsolete system is a mask for something far more sophisticated. As if responding to her words, Earth's orbital grid suddenly transformed. Satellites previously registered as weather stations revealed weapon systems that rivaled the Helios Armada's own capabilities. Debris fields resolved into cloaked defensive platforms. The entire solar system seemed to wake up, like a predator opening its eyes. A transmission cut through their communications, bypassing every encryption protocol as if they didn't exist. Welcome to Sol, Admiral Nix. We've been expecting you. Perhaps we should discuss the terms of our future relationship. The message came from Dr. Rajesh Patel, Earth's defense coordinator. His hologram materialized in their command center without requiring their permission or systems access, a technological feat that should have been impossible. How long have you known about us? Zara asked, her crystalline form shifting to diplomatic frequencies. Rajesh smiled. We detected your observation probes 50 years ago. We've been studying you while you thought you were studying us. Your empire's technological progression is predictable. You follow paths of least resistance, perfecting each innovation before moving to the next. Humanity chose a different approach. Explain, Vex demanded, his neural patterns betraying both fear and fascination. When you have 8 billion minds working on problems from different angles, conventional wisdom becomes a limitation, Rajesh explained. While some of us perfected fusion power, others explored quantum mechanics. When your scientists dismissed certain theoretical possibilities as impossible, our researchers simply hadn't received the memo that they couldn't succeed. Zara's form pulsed with understanding. You turned your species' chaos into an advantage. Precisely. What you see as primitive technology is often a choice, not a limitation. We maintain multiple technological paths because diversity breeds resilience. Your empire builds up. We build out. The implication staggered Zara. The Helios Armada had encountered hundreds of civilizations, all following the same linear progression of technological advancement. Humanity had created something entirely new, a technological web where apparent weaknesses masked unprecedented strengths. And now, she asked, already suspecting the answer. Now we suggest a partnership, Rajesh replied. Your empire needs what we have, the ability to think beyond established patterns. And we could benefit from your experience in galactic diplomacy. Unless, of course, you'd prefer a demonstration of just how many other surprises we've hidden in this solar system. The threat was delivered with a smile, but Zara could sense the steel behind it. Her species prided themselves on their technological superiority, but in just one encounter, humanity had shattered that illusion. They hadn't just prepared for first contact, they'd reshaped their entire civilization to ensure they held the upper hand when it happened. The Helios Council will need to be informed, she said carefully. Of course, Rajesh nodded. We'll expect their representatives within one standard month. Oh, and Admiral. Do remind them that what they've seen today is just the technology we're comfortable revealing. It would be unfortunate if they needed a demonstration of our other capabilities. As the hologram faded, Zara turned to her stunned crew. Send word to the council. Tell them we haven't discovered a new primitive species to guide. We've found something far more interesting, a civilization that rewrote the rules of technological evolution itself. The Eternal Whisper hung in space, its crew contemplating a future that suddenly seemed far less certain, and far more intriguing, than anyone had imagined.